Hi everyone! Today I wanted to share my favorite decks for summer. I posted 2 summer deck videos a couple years ago, Summer Decks Part 1 and then more Summer Decks Part 2. That's what happens when I'm unable to narrow down my choices. And I think if I remember correctly, I could have added more to the list. But in this video, I'll be sharing my personal favorites for 2026. Most of which were not included in my previous videos. A couple of them were, but the majority of them were not. And I'm actually working with 3 of these decks now, most likely through the summer. So I may end up doing a video on those decks later. Anyway, I chose these decks according to colors, imagery, and how they make me feel. And some of them may surprise you. They actually surprised me. The majority of these decks are tarot because that's mostly what I use. However, I also included a few of my favorite oracle decks as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my mass market decks, followed by my indie decks, and lastly, my oracle decks. And then I will leave available purchase links below. This may be a long video, so I am going to include timestamps so you can just jump to different segments. So with that, let's take a look. First on the mass market list is the Whimsical Witch Tarot. The bold colors and playful imagery of this deck, and along with like the plant life, really does remind me of summer just because the colors are so bright and vibrant, and just because of the quirky nature of this deck. This deck completely like makes me laugh. I love this deck. It makes me happy. So to me, that's a perfect sort of vibe for summer. It's not intense, but it's actually, the readings I get with it are accurate. Mine came in this little tin, and I think as far as I know, that's what it comes in across the board. I don't think there's any other size, so it's pretty small. I don't know if this is poker size or if it's pocket size. I have no idea. And then as far as the little white book, I think it is so much fun. It just has really cute commentary in it, and I just think for a little white book, it does pretty well. But yeah, the colors, the plant life, the creatures, the reds, the pinks, the purples, the bright greens, I just love it. And I think that this is the perfect deck for summer. And it's mass market. So, you know, you can get it from Amazon tomorrow if you live in the right area. I don't, but this is a deck that I think that if you're looking for something light for summer, this could be the deck. It's just a lot of fun. It's just adorable. I mean, the pinks and purples along with the greens. And that's so cute. I even like the backs of this deck. I think they're so cute. I love this strength card. I just think it's so funny. So next on the mass market list is the Paws Tarot. I got this one for my birthday, and I think that the simple color palette and the overall vibe of this deck makes me think of summer. I just find that this deck is so charming, and it's lighthearted, and like the Whimsical Witch Tarot, it just makes me laugh. It's just too cute, and I can't even imagine not adding this to my favorite summer decks list. It was just a really thoughtful gift, and I just love it. And as the book even is pink. I didn't find out until after I received this deck for my birthday that I didn't know anything about it. I'd never heard about it. Isn't that so weird? But anyway, because I guess it's really popular, but I had never heard about it. So it is on my list. And as you can see, very summery colors. Look at this. This is too, look at that little cherub. How fun, right? Justice is in her bathrobe. I love it. Yeah, just a really fun deck for this season. I'm really enjoying it. Next is the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. I mentioned this deck in one of my other summer deck videos, and I just couldn't leave it out because I love it. The vibrant and fiery colors of this deck, to me, just scream summer. The blues, the oranges, the reds, the fluffy clouds. I mean, again, this is another deck that I can't imagine putting it in a different category as far as seasons go. This is very much a summer deck, in my opinion. And I love the way that this deck reads. And there's just so much in it. As far as the book is pretty good as far as the major arcana, but then I notice that the minor arcana, it's very brief descriptions. The funny part is I may actually like the minor arcana in this deck more than I like the major cards, which is kind of weird. Because usually, you know, it's the major arcana that I really look at as far as, am I going to like a deck or not? But I love the minor cards in this deck. Look at the greens and the pinks together. Isn't it beautiful? She has an amazing use of color. Just gorgeous. Look at those reds and the fuchsias, or is that magenta? Yeah, beautiful. And I love this star card. I love this entire deck. And it looks so beautiful when you lay out the cards. Next is the Shining Tribe Tarot. This is the 2024 edition, and I'm just so grateful that they finally re-released this deck. It speaks to me in ways that I never expected. And then as far as the colors, they're bright, and the palette is warm, vibrant, and it absolutely makes me think of summer. I love the Two of Rivers, which is the same as the Two of Cups. Rachel Pollack, I'm a huge fan, and I have so many of her books. As far as her book that goes along with this deck, even if you're not into the, you know, the artwork, which I love more now than I did when I first saw it. I don't know what happened with that, but I really, really, really love the artwork of this deck. Anyway, if you aren't into her artwork, or you're not into the deck itself, there's so much in the guidebook. And I would literally buy this set just for the book. And in some ways I did. But it's all full color, and it's glossy, and it's gorgeous, and it's by Rachel Pollack. You can't really go wrong with this guidebook. It's amazing. She designed this deck. She wrote the guidebook. So, I mean, that's kind of all you need to know. So, yeah, as far as the colors, though, I mean, look at this Ace of Birds, which is the same as Ace of Swords or Air. The Six of Rivers. The World, which is the Shining Woman. I love this. I love this whole deck. The Spiral of Fortune. I love the rawness of the artwork. I mean, I think that the Shining Tribe Tarot is a good name for it. Isn't that so pretty? Five of Rivers. I actually have this app on my phone, and I had it on my phone before they re-released the deck, because I loved it, and I couldn't get my hands on the deck or the book. So I just kind of, over the years, would just, you know, read the digital tarot app. You know, it's so interesting. But I think it has like the entire book in the digital app. Isn't that gorgeous? Last on the mass market list is the Legrande Circus and Sideshow Tarot, and I almost didn't include it because it is currently out of print. So I'm hoping, like the Shining Tribe Tarot, they will re-release this deck soon, because I just love the gritty circus theme of this deck. And I love that the titles and the artwork remind me of like vintage circus posters. And even the colors and the flowers remind me of summer, as far as like the bright greens, the flowers, and you can see the bright green lawn, and that does make me think of summer. You've also have, as far as the Little White Book, this book does have, it's more than just the generic definitions of the cards. It also includes information specific to this deck, which I do like. And there's a lot of witty commentary along with the definitions. And I love that the artist was a circus clown in the Barnum and Bailey Circus. I think that's just so cool. Look at that. So it feels like this deck was created, not just, from an artistic perspective, but also personal experience, right? That's just so, I love this moon card. I really like the world. First on the indie list is the Sprites and Beasties Tarot. The warm colors and retro art style of this deck make me think of summer. The deck is packed with fae, elves, beasts, whimsical beings, and all these things actually make me think of summer. It does come with a guidebook, which is in the form of cards, the same size as the tarot cards themselves. But look at that. It has, I just love the retro vibe. The colors are muted, but at the same time, they're vibrant. I just love it. This deck is so much fun. And I actually don't mind that it is a pip deck, because it feels like it's more than that. But as you can see, a lot of the minor arcana are very pippish. Next on the indie list is the Jonasa Jaus Tarot. This one almost didn't make the list. I've been working with it a lot lately, and the more I thought about it, the more I felt like it did fit, for me anyway, because the nature-based imagery, the lush botanical artwork, it does make me think of summer. And I really love the striking yellows and reds in this deck. There's just, it's so rich and vibrant, and I love the contrast of the colors. And again, like for instance, this one here does make me think of summer, this one as well. It actually kind of reminds me of being in the thickest part of the forest in summer. This particular edition is out of print. This is the 8th edition, but the 9th edition is still available at the time of this video. But yeah, these colors really do, and especially the imagery makes me think of summertime. It's such a gorgeous deck. Next on the list is the I Am the Artist Tarot, also known as the Sakki Tarot. The whimsical and psychedelic vibe and the overall color scheme of this deck feels like summer to me. The colors kind of have a beachy feel when you're going through it. It just, you know, it just sort of, to me, feels like summer. Like that. These colors feel very summery. I used to live in the Florida Keys, and a lot of the colors in this deck make me think of that time. This deck is just full of so much energy, and a lot of it feels very energetic, but at the same time very healing. And it may be where she was at the time when she created the deck, but I just always get such a good feeling when I work with it. I never had the original Sakki Tarot. This is the one and only version of the deck that I have. And I am really enjoying the companion book. So if you do purchase the deck, I highly recommend the companion book. It is packed full of information, her process, her experiences, and a lot of information about the Kabbalah, numerology, and I just think it's a wonderful book. So again, if you don't have it and you have the deck, I highly recommend ordering the companion book. Next up is the Rainbow Heart Tarot. The bold and vibrant colors and the 70s retro vibe reminds me of summers in California. When I was a kid, it kind of makes me think of roller skating, playing outside, and my mom's hippie friends, and things like bubble yum. That's the vibe that this deck puts out for me. And it absolutely, to me, fits in the category for summer because look at these colors. I recently did a video about this deck, that this was the deck that I didn't know that I needed, and I absolutely 100% still feel that way. I absolutely love this deck more than I ever thought I would. And again, this is one of those decks that I wasn't sure it was going to appeal to me, and then when I got it, it absolutely 100% did. So I love this deck a lot. I mean, look at that. Very summer. This is the 5th edition. And then it's underneath here. It does come with a little guidebook, which has color images inside. I just love it. Last on the indie list is the Playful Heart Tarot. There is absolutely no way I could have left this one out, even though I did mention it in one of my other summer videos. But the bright and cheerful images in this deck just scream summer to me. And the companion book is so much fun. I don't have it here with me, and I think I paid like $7 for it, but I absolutely love her commentary. I think that the deck is so cute and just really funny. And I feel like it kind of gives like a different perspective in the way that you look at the cards or just look at tarot in general. It just kind of lightens up the vibe. Sorry, I forgot to bring it out here. But yeah, if you do end up getting the new one that I think she's releasing, or it's available for pre-release, make sure you get the book that goes with it, because I think it's worth it. But look at the scenery. I mean, come on, bathing suits, lollipops, the beach, sprinklers, the flowers, the colors, you know. And it's weird because it has a fluorescent, that the colors are kind of fluorescent. I'm not really into fluorescent, and yet I love this deck, and to me it just works. And I don't know what it is about this deck, but it also feels very healing to me. And it is one of my top decks for summer. How cute is that? First on the Oracle list is the Earthcraft Oracle. Pretty much the vibrant colors and the nature scenes, and just the lush plant life that's in this deck make me think of summer. It just has a lot of bright reds, pinks, oranges, and greens. And again, that to me just speaks of the season. I just think this is one of the most beautiful Oracle decks that I have. And the cardstock feels so good. It does come with a guidebook. And as far as working with it, I find that it reads pretty well. It's just so beautiful. I mean, look at that. The nest in her hair. It looks like the eggs are about to hatch. All the green, the purples. And then you've got this desert scene. You could use this deck for spring. I mean, you can use it anytime you want. But, I mean, I guess this could be considered a spring deck. I just mostly see summer when I look at it. Look at her. I love how her hair is the river. And she's part of the earth. It's just so pretty. The next mass market Oracle deck is the Prarie Majesty. Basically, the prairie animals, the plants, the colors of this deck remind me of summer. I really enjoy the symbolism of this deck. I just think it's a wonderful deck for this time of year, just because of the, you know, you can see the insects, the dragonflies, the birds, the sun, just the foliage, the plant life, you know, the herbalism. Again, it makes me think of summer. This is another one of my favorite Oracle decks. I just think it's wonderful. This is the mass market edition. I wouldn't mind having a copy of the indie edition, but I haven't been able to find it. But I mean, look at that. Sunflowers, beetles, ladybugs, animals. Again, very, very summery. Rabbits. This next Oracle deck is an indie deck called Nakisha or Nakisha's Oracle. Nakisha created the rabbit and the tarot, which I've mentioned before in my spring deck videos. This oracle has a completely different vibe, in my opinion, than those decks. This is actually a landscape deck, and so there's a lot of nature scenes and a lot of colors that make me think of summer. I think this is such a beautiful little oracle deck. I mean, even some of the scenery reminds me of places you would go in the summer, like on vacation. The clouds, the sky. A lot of forest scenes. Look at those little mushrooms. This is the poker size. I don't know if she makes different sizes or not. But even like these two cards make me think of summer. They kind of have a retro feeling to them. An island. Very swampy. Well, swamp. I love the clouds. I just really like her artwork. I mean, I have both the Tarot and the Rabbit Tarot, and I love them both. Last on the list of oracle decks is the Wyrd of Sarah Howard. This is an indie deck, and it was created by Gabby Angus West. This is meant to be the sister deck to the well-known Bonefire Tarot, and the artwork, as you can see, is very similar. I actually edged mine in blue to match the backs of the cards, and this little oracle does remind me of summer. Like just lazy summer days on the river, at the lake. It shows, you know, people swimming. It shows a lot of fish. You know, look at, we've got the, I don't know if it's seaweed or plants under the lake. I don't know. But again, a lot of the images make me think of summer. Inner tubing. Just hanging out with friends. It just, to me, puts out a super, like, summer vibe. Camping. Skinny dipping. Well, I don't actually think she's skinny dipping. That's just where my brain went. Fishing. I mean, look at that. I love all these fish remind me of Dr. Seuss fish. Swans. I'm really hoping that she reprints this deck. It's still out there, but it's kind of pricey. But if you really, really want it, it's out there. Boating, scrying, Chinese lanterns at night. I just love it. This is a wonderful little deck. I may use this one more than I use my Bonefire Tarot, which is weird because I'm more into tarot than I am into oracle decks, but this is also set up like playing cards, and I think that's why it works for me. So I think that covers it for my favorite spring decks. What do you think of my picks, and what are your favorite summer decks? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Bye.